Alright, welcome to Fire Service Warrior video blog, episode number 12. Today we're going to talk about meditation. In Friday's post, I talked about how we're going to explore the importance of recognizing that firefighting should have a spiritual side to it. And I'm not talking about any kind of religion or any kind of belief system of what exists beyond the here and now. But when I talk about the spiritual piece of it, it's that sense of drive, that sense of responsibility, that sense of this being a true vocation, something that we're called to do. And for those of us that aspire to be fire service warriors, I think we have that sense of that this is a calling, this is something that we are supposed to be doing. And we do it out of a sense of desire to help people, a sense of compassion for our fellow man, and in doing something that's challenging and difficult, but bettering society. One of the ways that we can build our skill sets for the fireground and to thrive in that environment is meditation. And I think we have to start with meditation because our end goal, our end state, is to be able to be truly mindful on the fireground. Mindfulness is a single-pointed focus. It is a 100% presence in the moment. Some of us have developed this already. We have that intuitive sense of everything that's going on the fireground and how to manage that environment. Others of us are trying to develop it. And whether we've labeled it mindfulness or something else in the past, whether or not we have an understanding that we have created the fireground as almost a ritual environment for us, we probably have, if we're really thriving there and excelling there. So what I hope to do here is just expose some ideas, get you thinking, get you talking about stuff. Some of the stuff that I'm going to say may strike you as really out there. That's okay. I'm talking from what has worked for me, and that's all I can do, to share that with you and hopefully open you up to an idea that may help you find a way to thrive on the fireground. So we're going to start with meditation because we all have a million thoughts going through our minds at any given point in time. That's why we sit down in church and rather than being enthralled in what the minister is saying, we start thinking about our grocery list, right? Somewhere deep in the recesses of our psyche is that ego, that I want piece of our psyche. And that little bit of our brain is like a 3-year-old in a grocery store that isn't getting the box of cereal that he or she wants. What happens when you don't give your ego what it wants? It stamps its feet, and it throws a fit, and it cries out for attention. When we try to quiet our minds, the ego is what starts to rear itself up and call for attention. It's what brings the distracting thoughts forward. Here's the problem. When you feed the ego, just like when you give your 3-year-old what they want when they're throwing a temper tantrum, it just reinforces the negative behavior. It reinforces that if I throw a fit, I'm going to get what I want. We have to teach the ego that we're in control, not it. Meditation is a way of doing that. It's a way of calming the ego. Now, I've studied meditation since I was right out of high school, and I've been fortunate to learn from some really good teachers. I actually just went the other day and sat through a really, really good 3-hour workshop that reaffirmed some great stuff for me. I recommend finding a teacher. Meditation is a difficult skill for some people because finding that quiet spot in the psyche is not something that we do very often in modern Western culture. Everything is instant gratification. Everything is fast-paced. It's flip the channel. It's TiVo things so that we don't have to watch commercials. It's instant status updates on Facebook. It's a fast society. Meditation is slowing things down. It's a slower pace. And I think that it does take having a teacher to really find that skill set and develop it. But for those of us that don't have a teacher readily available or don't have a teacher handy or aren't comfortable going to a teacher yet, there's some great resources out there. I have downloaded quite a few podcasts through iTunes. Just type in meditation in iTunes or on Amazon's downloadable stuff. There's lectures, there are CDs. If you are an iPhone, iTouch, iPad user, there are apps out there that have guided meditations, and that guided meditation is really helpful because it helps your brain learn how to do the skill. Just like on the fire ground, we show you how to pull the line, and then slowly we increase your skill set with it. But the idea here, try this. Find a source. Find something that works for you. It could be that meditative state in a religious service. It could be, think about that calm or peacefulness that maybe you found watching a sunrise over the mountains, or listening to a symphony, or some other, that light bulb moment, that epiphany moment. Think about the calm that you had, and that's what you're trying to cultivate. As you're working on it, as you're working on your meditative state, focus on your breathing. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. If a thought enters your mind about your groceries, how your kid's doing in school, any of that, that's okay. Recognize that it's there, and then say, I will deal with that later, and go back to focusing on the breathing. Finding that peacefulness, finding that quiet is useful. But for us as fire service warriors, it's not enough to be able to do that in the quiet moments of the morning before the day has gotten hectic, or in the quiet moments before we get ready to go to bed. We need to find a way to do that under stress and under pressure. So what I've found works is once you become adept at finding that quiet, calming the mind during relatively quiet moments, progress to doing your meditation right after you do your fitness. We do that hardcore fitness training to try and achieve this level of fitness that's going to allow us to thrive on the fire ground. And when you're done, you're tired, you're beat up, you're wrung out, you're probably twitchy, you're sweaty, you feel wrung out. Take that moment and start meditating then. Because that's the moment on the fire ground where you need to be able to find that calm and stillness. And once you become adept at that, at practicing that quiet, finding that quiet place post-workout, then start doing it during your workout. Find a mantra, a saying, a cadence, something that you can focus on other than the difficult act of physical training. Count your breath. Do some type of positive reinforcing statement that'll help get you into that calm, clear-minded headspace. Because the reality is, if you're in the middle of doing a run, pull-ups, push-ups, deadlifting, all of these skill sets in a high-intensity environment, but you can quiet your mind, then you're getting to the point where you can find that quiet on the fire ground. We've got a lot going on in that environment, right? We're flooded with stress hormones. We've got adrenaline pumping through our system. There's all kinds of inputs that are crashing in. when we can find that peace, when we can find that tranquility, when we can find that calm, that's when we can open up the real intuitive sense that we all possess to understand what's really going on around us. So that's the thoughts for today. Work on meditation. Go out there, find a teacher, find a tool, find a podcast, find something, and start practicing it. 10 to 30 minutes a day, every day. Try to find that quiet moment. Start off doing it early in the morning or just before you go to bed as a way of finding stillness before you're wrapped up in a bunch of other thoughts. Then, once you've gotten good at that, start working at it post-workout when you're wrung out and you're tired. And then, once you're good at that, work on doing it in the workout, in that moment of intense activity. And you'll build that skill set. Next week, we're going to talk about the visualization piece. And once you've acquired that peaceful mind through meditative state, how to begin programming positive mental action in fighting the fire before you ever are there. So that's the thoughts. We're going to keep exploring this. We are going to begin accepting applications for that Fire Service Warrior Apprenticeship Program. The first class that we bring together are going to be folks that are located in the Chicago metropolitan area. But if you live outside the Chicago area, please send in your resume and your essay. Get it into us, because what we're going to do is we're going to start trying to figure out how to do the community learning when we're not all in the same place. We're going to work on that, and that's part of the process as we develop this. So if you are interested in being part of the apprenticeship, please send in your information so that we can start working with you and getting you on task. Until next week, have a great week. Find what you're going to do for your meditation and send me an email. Let me know. You'll see that what I'm doing every day on Twitter. Follow us there. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.